Hey guys, welcome back. I'm new to leather work. I've been wanting to do more and more of it and just have not done it. So I'm deciding to finally tackle some of it, trying to incorporate it into more of my projects. But I'm a beginner, so I'm just kind of showing you some things as I'm learning them. Maybe you can learn a few things too. I'm gonna stop talking now. Let's take a look. I'm making a leather handle. I started out with a whole side of leather. I picked a corner that would yield me the few pieces I needed and just rough cut them with a knife. I cleaned up the edge with a ruler, marked out 1 1/4 inches, and cut a strip. Then I cut another. I marked out my stitching holes with a compass and then started pounding the holes. Just follow right up the line and be sure to reference the one prong of the stitching hole tool in the previous hole. That way your spacing will be much more uniform. There is a little debate on how much thread to use in leather work with a saddle stitch, but most I saw said 3 to 4 times the length of the piece that you're stitching. I went a little over 4 times since the thread is pretty cheap and it'll look better to do that now and not have to get another piece of thread in the middle. I just measured the workpiece with the thread, then folded it over and over again to achieve the 4-time measurement. On to the actual stitching. For a saddle stitch, you actually use 2 needles, one attached at each end of the thread. And then take the point of the needle and put it through the thread on the small end. This will create a small loop that you can put the small end through and tie a knot. Then start about 2 holes forward of the first hole and thread one of the needles through. Pull it through and take 1 needle in each hand and make it even. I'm backstitching here to lock everything in. Put a needle through one of the holes and then take the needle in the other hand on the other side of the piece and put it through the same hole. Pull each one tight after both needles have gone through, but not so tight that you make the leather buckle. Your stitch will look better if you're consistent where in the hole that you put the needle through. For example, if you put the first needle in the front of the hole and the second needle in the back of the hole, keep doing that all the way down the piece. Once you've gone to the beginning, the back stitch is complete. Turn around and go forward right back where you just stitched and keep going until the end. I want to tell you about a podcast I do with a couple friends and fellow makers. It's called We Built a Thing, and we discuss making things, creating videos, being dads, and much more. Find it in your favorite podcast app and give it a listen. Once you reach the end, repeat the steps to create another back stitch. Go backward about 2 holes to lock it all in. I actually tied some simple knots on the back of the piece here, but that's not really necessary. Depending on your string, you can burn the ends to kind of seal them off. Next, I cleaned up the ends a bit and then used an edge beveler to round over the edges. I sanded using some 220 sandpaper in a single direction. After talking to some others who do a good bit of leather work, they told me they don't even sand. If you have a nice clean cut, they say most of it is taken care of with the next step, burnishing the edge. I have tried multiple ways for this, including using glycerin saddle soap, but one friend told me he just uses water and then an edge slicker to burnish the edges. It's really just about applying some pressure and allowing heat to build up, and it causes a nice slick edge. I had burnished the edge before wet forming the shape, but it kind of lost some of its sheen, so I burnished it again. And that finished it off. I recently made this strap handle out of leather with 2 saddle stitched sides here, and I like the way it turned out. I just left it kind of natural colored. I mean, this is veg tan leather, and I wet formed it so that it would kind of keep the shape. This is going on a project as a handle, and I'm excited to show you that project. I'm not quite done with it, and I think you're going to like it, so stay tuned for that. If you didn't see the video of how I made this stitching pony, go ahead and check that out. The video I have coming out of the project that I made this for should be out very soon if you're watching this the day I released it. I'll see you real soon. Thanks so much for watching.